The U.S. Supreme Court justices held a private meeting to decide which appeals to take up in their next term. Possibly on the docket, an appeal from convicted Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. She is seeking to overturn her criminal convictions. This comes after Democrats on the House Oversight Committee last Friday released some of the documents that had been turned over by Epstein's estate that reveal names of prominent figures such as billionaire Elon Musk, who appears in a record dated at December 6, 2014. Quote, "Reminder, Elon Musk to island December 6. Is this still happening? Question mark. On Friday, Musk posted on X, quote, "This is false." Just one day before that, Epstein was scheduled to meet with Microsoft's Bill Gates. Quote, "TBD, tentative breakfast party with Bill Gates." Other references include a meeting with entrepreneur Peter Thiel, former White House advisor to President Trump Steve Bannon. We should note that none of these documents link any of these men to any criminal or untoward activity that we can discern at all. Here now are Epstein survivor Lisa Phillips and James Marsh, who's an attorney representing other Epstein victims. Thanks for both of you for being here. Lisa, I'll start with you. We've talked before about survivors releasing an unofficial client list, or at least forming one amongst yourselves. What's your reaction to some of the names released in this latest patch of records? And again, we should note, no evidence connecting them to any of Epstein's crimes. But what was your response?
The latest response is not a surprise to us survivors. We've been compiling our list for the last few years, just working together. And we're not surprised at all of the names that are being released.
Democrats on the committee also posted flight records with former President Clinton and Ghislaine Maxwell, along with 4 Secret Service agents, that they say these records were already public. Republicans on the Oversight Committee posted, quote, "It's sad how Democrats are conveniently withholding documents that contain the names of Democratic officials. Once again, they are putting politics over victims," unquote. Personally, I don't care what party anybody is in terms of anybody who might have engaged in criminality. I just want to know who did it. James, what was your response to all that?
I think the efforts to pass this bill is what it's going to take to get full transparency. All politics aside, once we get this law passed, the Epstein Transparency Act, get all the records released out in public without regard to politics or personalities, I think that will be a real key to getting full transparency and accountability in this case.
Also in the documents is a record that shows Prince Andrew on a flight with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell from New Jersey to West Palm Beach, Florida in May 2000. And Lisa, you've spoken out about Epstein introducing you to Prince Andrew, who of course has denied any wrongdoing. What's your reaction to this document?
Again, I'm not surprised either, and I'm so thankful that that's being released. I've been saying this for about 6 years now, of seeing him there, and another experience of a friend with him. So, Virginia Giuffre spoke out about him, and that was the reason why I initially spoke out. So I think it's a really good step in the right direction.
The U.S. Supreme Court is considering today whether they're going to take up Ghislaine Maxwell's petition. CNN's Ellie Honig wrote in New York Magazine, quote, "Odds are against Maxwell on the whole, though she's got a substantially better chance at gaining traction in the Supreme Court than the average litigant," unquote. James, do you agree with that? What happens if the court denies her review?
Having been to the Supreme Court about 10 years ago, where your odds of having your petition heard are less than your odds of getting into Harvard or Yale or both, it would really surprise me if the court took up this case. There's nothing unique or unusual about this case other than the public attention. And given the docket for this coming fall, with all of the Trump appeals piling up, I don't think the court's looking for more controversial issues or more controversial, public scrutiny than they've already got. So this would really surprise me if they took this case.
Lisa, I know you know this already, but there will be the 218th signature to force the Tom Massie bill onto the floor, which would release all the Epstein records. It still has to go to the Senate, though. Do you think you and your fellow survivors can keep up the pressure on the U.S. Senate?
We've been working on it, and we've been in touch, and they've quite a bit of them have been very supportive. So we are keeping up hope, yes.
All right, Lisa Phillips and James Marsh, thanks to both of you, and Lisa in particular.